There are a few oddities around the Gerudo's Fortress map in Ocarina of Time that are very interesting. There's a crate in the distance that's meant to be this crate in front of the Sand River in Haunted Wasteland. This is an actual crate. There's no floor around it, so be careful not to fall. Past this loading plane, there is a piece of floor that will slowly move you into the out-of-bounds void, so be careful not to fall. Normally, you aren't supposed to be here as a child. In the archery range are a stack of crates that are not present as an adult. You can be careful, but they will not fall. The treasure chest that holds a heart piece now holds an odd mushroom. There is a freestanding heart piece here that's only available in the child version of this map. This is known as the 37th heart piece, one of 3 that are normally unobtainable but still exist in the game and are fully collectible. In the Thieves' Hideout in Ocarina of Time, there are these beams you can hookshot to get over the wall on the path to the top of Gerudo's Fortress. How many beams can you hookshot here? If you counted 4, you'd actually be wrong. While there are 4 beams you can see here, just out of bounds are actually 2 additional wooden beams you can hookshot as well. These blue polygons represent an object you can hookshot to. Perhaps the ceiling here was once higher and then lowered, but the developers didn't remove the hookshot collision afterwards. So when asking how many beams are there, the true answer all along is 6. In Ocarina of Time, there are 36 heart pieces you can collect to increase your health. However, there exist 3 additional heart pieces that are normally unobtainable but you can collect using glitches. The 37th heart piece is located at the top of Gerudo's Fortress as a child. Normally, you're not supposed to be here, but by combining clever jumps and glitches, you can reach this loading zone and exit in front of the heart piece. The 38th heart piece is located in an alternate scene setup of the graveyard. Alternate scene setups are versions of a map that are used in cutscenes, and you can use a glitch called void warping to reach these areas. Here, the heart piece is inside a treasure chest, where normally it's in a wooden crate. The 39th heart piece is the most interesting of the 3. This piece is located in an alternate scene setup of inside Jabu Jabu's belly. By reviving yourself after side hopping into this enemy, you can use your invincibility to walk past and open the door, finding this treasure chest that contains the 39th heart piece. What would happen if you collected a 40th heart piece and went past the maximum 20 heart containers? I've set that situation up, and here's what happens. You now have 21 heart containers. Actually, you can have a lot more than 21 hearts. Full recovery items like potions and fairies will only recover 20 hearts at a time, since this is the intended maximum health you could have. In Zora's Domain, if you look into the water, you'll see what looks like a secret entrance deep below you. However, you cannot dive to it, even with the golden scale. You could definitely get there with iron boots, but the problem is that Zora's Domain is frozen over as an adult, so you can't sink down there. Luckily, there is a way you can get under the ice, and it's not that tricky. First, stand here and hookshot this upper right corner of the ladder. Link will be clipped into the ledge. Press A to let go, and B immediately after to jump slash. You'll land on some ice out of bounds. Go over to this corner here, and you can side hop to get into the out of bounds water. Swim back in bounds and put on the iron boots. Congratulations, you're finally under the ice. Now we can find out what's been under Zora's Domain all this time. And it's... nothing. Neat. In Zora's Domain as an adult, King Zora sits on his throne, frozen in red ice. Normally, you need to unfreeze him by pouring blue fire on him. However, getting blue fire is time-consuming. Luckily, there's an interesting way you can unfreeze him. At the bottom of the staircase, line up against this wall and side hop up the stairs until you're about here. Then slowly inch towards this sign until you're in range to read it. Read it, then head back down the stairs. When you go back up, you'll find that King Zora is unfrozen, and you can talk to him as normal. Neat. I want to show you Darunia's shaft. In Goron City, inside Darunia's room, if you look up at the ceiling, you'll see an opening. If we go up, we'll find this random shaft in the map's geometry that goes nowhere. There is no purpose to this shaft, and there is nothing more to this. Neat. How are you supposed to find this without a strategy guide? In Dodongo's Cavern, in the room where you fight the Lazelfos, there are these lava falls against the walls near some of these platforms. You're down to your last heart, so what should you do? Jump into the lava. That's right, just jump right into the lava. There's a secret cubby behind this lava fall that hides one recovery heart. This is the only cubby like that in this room. Neat. The floor is not lava. In the fire temple, in this room, you are chased by a firewall while you navigate metal platforms over a lava floor. The lava will burn you if you touch it. However, there is the secret. If you stand in this corner, you will not be burned by the lava. It's completely safe to walk around on any spot from this corner to this corner. We can look at the collision in this room and we will see that this corner is different from the lava next to it. It's not clear why this collision is different. Maybe this room had a layout that was changed, but the collision wasn't updated to reflect the change. There is nothing more to this. Neat. In the Happy Mask Shop, you can borrow and wear various masks. Talking to NPCs while wearing a mask can give some interesting dialogue based on what it is. Through this, you can learn some interesting information while wearing the spooky mask. By talking to this Kokiri girl, she will tell you that the mask is actually made of wood. If you wear the mask and talk to the carpenter boss, he will confirm that the mask is made of some quality wood. Cool. By talking to Dampe, he asks you if you know what kind of mask you're wearing, and questions why you're still wearing it. What does he mean by this? We can get our answer by talking to the Lakeside Laboratory scientist. On talking to him, he tells us this. Let's see. Yes, I'm quite sure of it. That was manufactured from a plank from a coffin. Yes, it was. Oh. With this cursed knowledge, we can sell the mask to the graveyard kid for 30 rupees, who will never know the true origin of the mask. Neat. At the gate of Death Mountain Trail stands the gate guard, who opens it after being presented with Zelda's letter. Doing this, he requests you visit the Happy Mask Shop and bring him the Keaton mask for his son. Here, you can sell the mask to him and continue with the mask trade quest. However, you can choose to decline selling the mask to the guard. If you do so, this happens. The guard will close the gate and will shut you out of Death Mountain until you sell the mask to him. Selling the mask after this will have the guard open the gate again. Neat. In the Temple of Time, to become an adult, you must collect the 3 spiritual stones and play the Song of Time to open the Door of Time. But what if you could skip opening the door entirely? To the left of the door is a small gap that you can clip through. Because of how consistent Link's movement is, setups have been made that will allow you to replicate the precise movement needed to perform this. I will show you the setup that I find easiest. This setup requires learning 2 things, lunge storage and ESS movement. To perform lunge storage, Link performs a forward thrust while near a small ledge. Link moves backwards and falls off it, interrupting the animation and storing a lunge. With the lunge stored, the next jump slash Link performs will move him more forward than normal. ESS is a position on your control stick that's just enough out of neutral where the game will register its smallest input. This position is important for a separate trick called Extended Super Slide, which is why it's called ESS. When you press ESS to the right, Link will make a small movement to turn slightly more right. We will call this unit of rotation 1 ESS right. With these 2 things in mind, we can begin the setup. First, jump up on the pedestal and get lunge storage. Perform a thrust at the edge and Link will fall off, storing a lunge. Next, side hop into this corner, roll without any analog input, then hold target. This will lock the camera angle to where Link is facing. From here, side hop right and neutral roll. Then, side hop right, side hop left, then neutral roll. Turn 1 ESS right. With this angle, draw your sword then immediately shield to keep a slash from moving you. Now, with your sword out, hold target and do a jump slash. You can also do this without a shield, but the timing is tighter as you must jump slash before the sword slash moves you forward. If you've done everything correctly, you should clip past the door using the forward movement boost from the lunge storage, and you can now access the Master Sword without needing to complete any previous dungeons. A word of warning, however, the door is not open as an adult, and you will need a different method to get past the door, out and in. Otherwise, neat. In the Lost Woods, there is a small pond with an exit that leads to Zora's River. However, at the beginning of the game, you don't have the silver scale needed to use the shortcut. Luckily, with just a Deku Stick, you can leave the forest early without needing to complete the Deku Tree. Make your way to this wall facing directly east. Hold target to keep this angle locked for the setup. When you get to about here, roll forward a little to the side so the camera becomes slightly diagonal. Walk forward until you're nice and snug with this corner. Do a side hop left and backflip. During the backflip, you can pull out a Deku Stick. do a side hop right, and when the timing is right, jump slash with the Deku Stick. You may need to practice the timing for this. The angle combined with the jump slash will clip you into the corner of the statue, and you can swim into the loading zone to Zora's River. Congratulations! You're now free to explore the rest of Hyrule, skipping the beginning section of the game. Neat. Would you like to see something amazing? Jumping. If you try to pick up a bomb while targeting, shielding, and your sword in hand, Link gets put in an interesting state where he can't use items, but if he tries to backflip, he hops up. This is called a ground jump, and it's very useful for grabbing ledges just out of reach. In Dodongo's Cavern, you can ground jump up to this ledge to hit the switch early, skipping the right half of the first floor. In Sacred Forest Meadow, as an adult, you can ground jump up to this ledge at the entrance to the maze to skip needing to fight the moblins patrolling it. These are just some of the places you can use ground jump to your advantage. Neat. Across Hyrule, Link faces many different enemies, but there's an interesting property shared between three of them: Gways, Levers, and Stall Children. These enemies will continue to respawn so long as Link is in the area, and there's a secret to be found if you continue hunting each of them. Gways can be found in Lake Hylia, Desert Colossus, and Lon Lon Ranch. By continuing to defeat them after they respawn, eventually, you will face the Giant Gway. Your reward for defeating this giant enemy is a larger ruby drop. Levers can be found in Haunted Wasteland and Desert Colossus. After defeating 10 in a row, a giant purple lever spawns. Congratulations on completing your shiny hunt. In Hyrule Field at night, as a child, Stall Children will continue spawning until morning. If you continue defeating the Stall Children that spawn around Link, you will eventually find a giant Stall Child spawns. Unlike the other giants, however, giant Stall Children have no size limit. If you continue defeating Stall Children, they will continue growing larger and larger. Normally, you can't see this because the sun rises before you get a chance to witness it. However, using practice tools, we can freeze time so it remains night permanently. Now we can hunt for giants to our heart's content. Slowly but surely, the giants are growing larger and larger. Here is how big they get after about 10 minutes. If you leave a giant one alive and only defeat the smaller Stall Children, you can even get 2 giant Stall Children attacking you at once. Scary, but neat. Blue fire is a rare item you can find across Hyrule that you can keep inside a bottle. On using it, Link drops the fire and it spreads in an area in front of him. This is used to melt red ice, such as in front of the Zora shop, or the ice that King Zora is trapped in. While its purpose may seem limited, it does have one additional, obscure interaction. Link can destroy certain walls by hitting them with an explosive. However, if we use blue fire on these walls, they will also be destroyed. This only works with bombable walls that look like this though. Other objects that can be destroyed with bombs can't be done with blue fire. Otherwise, neat. In Ocarina of Time, Link's health is displayed as quarters of a heart. However, it's more accurate than that. In actuality, the game keeps track of Link's health not in quarters, but in sixteenths. There's an interesting property when Link's health is at its minimum, 1/16th of a heart. In some environments, Link can only stay there for so long, such as in heated rooms or underwater. The timer you're given to stay is based on how much health Link has, 1 second per 1/8 of a heart. So what happens when Link has lower than that? Using fire damage, we can get Link down to 1/16th health with good timing. Not that we're at our lowest health. Let's see what happens. Environment timers do not start. Link is free to be in these areas indefinitely so long as you maintain 1/16th health. Here in Fire Temple, the timer in this heated room does not show up while at 1/16th health. While difficult, this lets you complete the Fire Temple without a Goron Tunic. Underwater timers won't start either while at this low health. This would also let you complete Water Temple without the Zora Tunic. Neat. In Ocarina of Time, when Link does a jump slash, he gains additional height that you can use to make some jumps possible. In Kokiri Forest, you can jump slash from this fence at the right time to jump onto this bridge and grab the blue rupee a little quicker, instead of needing to take the long way around. In the windmill, adult Link can stand on this spot here and jump to the center column to get the heart piece without needing to go through Dampé's grave. However, child Link can also jump up here. While difficult, with proper timing, a jump slash will push Link up onto the column's blades and you can collect the heart piece. You can also travel down into Dampé's grave, but if you jump down, you aren't tall enough to get back up without ground jump. Neat. In the Forest Temple, to access the boss room, you need to defeat the 4 Poe sisters to light these torches and activate the elevator to the basement. However, there's a way you can clip out of bounds and go directly to Phantom Ganon, skipping most of the temple. There's a few setups you can do with these stairs, but here is one. Stand in this corner in the north of the room. side hop right and side roll, then hold target to lock this angle. Go back into the corner, take your hookshot out and do a backflip, then quickly press your hookshot button to stop the backflip early. You'll land on the other side of the fence. Slowly backwalk and catch yourself on the ledge. Climb back up, side hop left and do a roll. You'll catch yourself on a ledge, but inside and under the fence. Drop down, then face yourself in this direction. You're looking to jump down and hit the loading zone for Phantom Ganon's room below you. Run forward and go for it. Congratulations, you've skipped most of Forest Temple. Before you fight Phantom Ganon though, stand in front of this wall, do a roll, then while Link is crouched down, quickly press C up. You'll look through the wall and find that Phantom Ganon is waiting for you under the arena. Neat. In Ocarina of Time, the manga, Volume 1, usually, you need to read through each page in order to reach the ending. However, you can actually skip to the end of the book with one simple trick. Before you open the book, we need to do a setup. Start by flipping the book over. Now that we've done this, we can start our reading. When we begin reading, we find that we are now on the last page of the volume, skipping the need to read everything beforehand. This saves an unprecedented amount of time. Neat! In the graveyard, there is a unique gravestone used for the royal family's tomb. However, after playing Zelda's Lullaby to open the gravestone explodes and you can no longer look at it. However, this is not the only place this fine masonry shows up. Scattered across Desert Colossus are these rocks sticking out of the ground. If we take a closer look at them, we'll find that these are actually reused royal family gravestones. What a great asset. As a bonus, before you explode the grave, if you walk up and down these stairs a bunch of times while looking at the graveyard, you end up duping the gravestones, along with the object that controls the lightning during the explosion. If you've duped the gravestones and then play Zelda's Lullaby, this happens. The lightning gets duped as well, and this cutscene becomes much brighter and louder. If you keep going up and down the stairs past this, eventually you'll end up unloading the gravestone entirely, which means you can get into the royal family tomb without needing Zelda's Lullaby. Neat! In Kokiri Forest, the exit to Hyrule Field is blocked off by this kid who will only let you leave after completing the Deku Tree. Luckily, there's a few methods to get out through this exit early. Here is one. Stand in this spot here on the right side, face right and angle yourself slightly left into the wall. Use your shield to do a crouch stab against the wall, then press A to talk to the kid at the right moment. You'll be clipped into him, and when you finish talking, you'll be pushed inside this guarding circle. From here, you can do two things. On the right side of the tunnel, quickly do a roll to get under the guard and you'll escape the circle. Here's the funnier method. There is a small gap between the floor and this wall right here. If you walk along the left side slowly, you'll end up doing this. You have sent this kid to the infinite void, and you can now freely leave the forest. Neat! In Zora's domain, King Zora sits on his throne blocking the entrance to Zora's fountain. You need to show him Ruto's letter to get him to Muip out of the way, which requires getting the silver scale and going to Lake Hylia. Luckily, there are methods to bypass this, as a child and as an adult. As Child Link, you can use this setup with the Deku Stick. Target this wall, side hop left, and side roll. Turn one ESS left. This is a unit of rotation where you press just enough out of neutral where Link does a slight turn but stays in place. After this ESS turn, hold target to lock this angle. Light a Deku Stick and make your way to this far corner of the room. From here, side hop right twice, backflip once, and side hop left once. Wait a moment for the Deku Stick to start burning down to Link. Once it does, move left so Link walks off the edge and jump slash with it, holding forward into the wall. This will clip you out, and you can swim to the water under the path to the fountain. As an adult, you can use this itemless setup to jump over the gate instead. Stand in this corner and hop up the ledge. Do a roll. Side hop left, side roll, side hop left, side roll, and retarget. Do a backflip and side roll right. Retarget and do 2 rolls forward. Side hop left and side roll. Roll once. Finally, side hop left twice and walk forward. You should jump up from this final corner and grab the fence to climb up it. Congratulations! King Zora never has to be rescued. Neat. What happens if a treasure chest has nothing in it? In Ocarina of Time, there are many variables a treasure chest can have that determine things like its size and its contents. There is a specific variable that has interesting effects. Using practice tools, I can spawn a treasure chest containing 00. This variable has different effects depending on if the chest is large or small. If a large chest containing 00 is picked up, this happens. Link is instantly squished and gets voided out. If we use a small chest instead, we get this effect. Link can pick up a small chest and carry it around. But if Link tries to pick it up again, this happens. The chest rockets Link up into the air at an incredible speed. Goodbye, Lake Hylia. Neat. Previously, I showed what happens if you open a treasure chest with nothing in it. However, you asked what would happen in other scenarios, such as opening a treasure chest as Adult Link, or opening one underwater. So, let's do it some more. I've placed 3 different chest types in front of me, all containing no item. As Child Link, large chests will void you out, while small chests send you flying. Let's see what happens as Adult Link. Link picks up the boss key chest and is instantly squished. This also happens with the regular large chest. When I pick up a small chest as Adult Link, the chest no longer launches me into the air and now voids Link out. What happens if the chest is opened underwater? Normally, you can't open chests underwater, but by first hookshotting the chest, it unsets a flag that says Link is swimming and allows opening the chest. Let's see what happens now. The chest tries to launch up, but stops above Link's head. What about with Child Link? Here I've equipped Link with the Iron Boots and Zora Tunic, and I use a glitch called Equip Swap to let Child Link equip Adult Link items he's not supposed to use, like the hookshot. Now to open the underwater chest. Unfortunately, when Child Link uses the hookshot, he gets softlocked into whatever direction he was moving in. Safe travels, Link. Neat. Would you like to see something forbidden? Age unrestricted items. As Adult Link, you can't use some of Child Link's items, like the boomerang and Deku sticks. Vice versa, Child Link can't use Adult Link's items like the bow and hammer. However, there's a glitch you can do to equip these items. In the pause menu, hover over the item you want to equip. Then, scroll over a page left or right. Scroll back to the items page, and when the transition lines up to about here, press up left, or up right, and an item button to equip an item that you are allowed to, like Din's Fire or Deku sticks. If you've timed it right, it should equip the restricted item you hovered over, equipped as the item you moved up to. This is called Equip Swap, and it's a great glitch for using items you're not supposed to. As Adult Link, you can freely use Child Link's items. The boomerang works as normal. The slingshot works as expected, only that it uses arrows instead of seeds. If you are playing on the N64 version, pulling out a Deku stick as an Adult Link crashes the game, but if you're playing the Wii Virtual Console release, you can use Deku sticks as normal and they work as expected. You can equip masks too, but they don't appear on Link's face. One interesting thing when doing this happens when you wear the Gerudo mask as an adult. Wearing the Gerudo mask turns distant actors in the map bright yellow. In the Haunted Wasteland, putting on this mask will highlight the waymarking poles. This will have echoing repercussions on yellow paint discourse. As Child Link, you can freely use the hammer and bow. The hammer works as expected, and Child Link can swing it no problem. When using the bow or any elemental arrows, it treats it as using the slingshot, along with its seeds. Don't use the hookshot though. If Child Link uses a hookshot, he will get softlocked into whatever direction he was moving last. You'll be fine if you hit a loading zone though, as this will reset the map and you can move around freely. When Adult Link uses the hookshot, it works because there is always an object loaded that the hookshot is dependent on to work. This one right here, Object ID 14. This object does not exist as a child, but is always loaded as Adult Link. I can use practice tools to manually spawn this object, and when I try using the hookshot as child now, it works. Besides equipping forbidden items, there is a way you can dupe items as well. In Hyrule Market as adult, the Poe Collector requires you to bring in 10 big Poes to get another bottle. This is time consuming, and we can use Equip Swap to greatly shorten this side quest. If you were to Equip Swap a bottle over an item like normal, when that bottle gets its contents updated, it overwrites whatever item you Equip Swap the bottle over, meaning you lose the original item. To prevent this, we can use how the game equips elemental arrows and swaps item places to our advantage. Equip Din's Fire on C right, elemental arrows on C down, and the big Poe on C left. We need to equip swap the bow onto C left. This will cause the 2 item buttons to point to one inventory slot, and it keeps changes to our duped bottles isolated, preventing us from losing the original item. After selling one of the Poes, we can set up our items to do the dupe again and again, and sell the 10 big Poes to the collector to get the extra bottle faster. This is also very useful in Majora's Mask, where you can dupe Zora eggs and not need to make multiple trips to get all 7 of them in Pirate's Fortress and Pinnacle Rock. Neat. In the Forest Temple, there's a sledge with a door that's just out of reach that leads to the balcony in the West Garden. You're supposed to come here from this direction, and not return after you jump down. Luckily, there is a way you can get up here, and it's pretty easy. While you're in this room, go ahead and push the 2 big blocks into their resting positions so that when you return, you won't need to redo the block pushing. On this 3rd level where the ice switch is, target either of these walls to get a cardinal angle. Face back or left, and from here, do 2 ESS turns right. By slightly pressing the analog stick just out of neutral, Link does a very small turn in that direction while not moving. Once you do the ESS turns, hold target to lock this angle. Run forward, and when Link hops off the edge, do a jump slash. The sword will hit the wall, and the recoil will send you backward onto the ledge. Congratulations! From here, you can enter the first door on your left and grab the small key from this room early. Neat. There are these swarms of butterflies that fly around different spots across the game, like here in Zora's River, or in this common grotto. They actually hold a secret, and it could save your life. Stand near the butterflies and take out a Deku Stick. Get close to one, then start walking away slowly. The butterfly will start following you. Keep going, and soon enough, the butterfly will turn into a fairy. This will work anywhere you can find these butterflies. It even works as Adult Link if you equip swap Deku Sticks. Hold a stick and walk away slowly. There we go. Neat. You may have noticed that sometimes Navi will fly over to a random spot with nothing there. In some cases, it's because it's a spot that you can summon Pierre the Scarecrow after playing the Scarecrow song. Other times, playing the song doesn't do anything. So what's going on? These are spots you can spawn a special type of fairy. By playing either the Song of Storms or the Sun Song, a short cutscene will play and you will spawn a big fairy. Big fairies are different from regular fairies in that they look like a floating orb and you can't catch them in a bottle. When you touch one of these fairies, it will restore all of your magic but only 8 of your hearts. There are 17 of these locations in the game, in the overworld, in grottos, and even in dungeons. You can also spawn a big fairy from a gossip stone by playing the Song of Storms instead of Zelda's Lullaby for a regular fairy. Neat. There are some odd things that Link can hookshot to in Ocarina of Time. In the Water Temple, this corridor on the second floor has hookshot collision on these spots here, even though there are no targets. In Dark Link's room, the bottoms of the doors can be hookshot. In the Shadow Temple, in this giant cavern room, these wooden posts are not hookshotable, except for this one face of this post, here. In the Fire Temple, the walls in the center arena in Volvagia's room, alongside being climbable, are also hookshotable. In Ganondorf's arena, the walls and ceiling have hookshot collision. If all the blocks fall during the fight, you can use the hookshot to move around the arena. You can even hookshot back up to the arena from below this way. This one triangle on the furnace outside Dampé's hut has hookshot collision. In the Spirit Temple, you can do this. This is because the nipples on the statue were given hookshot collision. Here's what the statue's collision looks like. If you're not careful, this can happen. These green faces here damage Link if he touches them. Be careful. Neat. I am holding a sword. Watch this. I should not be able to do that. This is a power crouch stab. Crouch stabs are interesting in that they use the properties of the last attack you did. For example, if Link does a jump slash, then does a crouch stab, the crouch stab will do jump slash damage. This is great for dealing out damage quickly. This attack gets even better when you combine it with a separate glitch. When Link interrupts a crouch stab with an action like reading a sign or talking to Navi, the hitbox for your sword stays out, and Link gets put in a state where he constantly swings his sword. This is called Infinite Sword Glitch. If I swing the Megaton Hammer, then do ISG, because it's initiated with a crouch stab, Link is now constantly doing a Megaton Hammer swing, which means I can do something like this. In Kakariko Village as a child, if you do ISG and pick up a Kuko, walk over to the well, shield drop the Kuko and backflip, you'll trigger the Kuko Swarm cutscene and fall through the water, letting you enter bottom of the well early. Neat. In Ocarina of Time, after Link becomes an adult and gathers some items, you are encouraged to go to the Forest Temple, then the Fire Temple, and then the Water Temple in that order. However, these dungeons are actually interchangeable, and you can do any of them first. Here is how to do the Water Temple as the first adult dungeon, without the bow or hammer. I am entering the Water Temple with these items, some of which I grabbed as a child before becoming an adult, as I can't go back in time until I beat the Forest Temple. The important ones are Din's Fire and Furora's Wind to reduce some backtracking. The plan is to grab 4 out of 6 small keys, get the long shot, grab the boss key, and then defeat Morpha and finish the Water Temple. I set Furora's Wind because I'm going to be coming back to this spot soon. I jump into the water and hold target while swimming. This is because when I equip the Iron Boots, so long as I still hold target, I can swim around with the Iron Boots on, instead of having to wait to sink all the way down before moving. I catch up with Ruta and float up past the cracked wall to the first floor water switch. There's a small key behind that cracked wall I need to get. You could grab it once you raise the water level to the middle level, but there's a cool trick to grab it now. Line up against the wall here, side hop right, side roll, and backflip. While holding target, pause. When you unpause, quickly let go of target and side hop left. When Link hits the wall on the way down, target again to face Link towards the wall. This will shift his momentum forward and make him fall onto the second floor. Blow up the wall and grab your first small key. Since we don't have a bow to light these torches by shooting a flaming arrow, we'll use Din's fire to light these torches. Enter the room and defeat the enemies to grab the second small key. Back in the central room, push this block out of the way to access the western rooms on the first floor. Navigate through and get to this room with the dragon statue in the spinning water. Equip the iron boots and hookshot this switch in the statue's mouth to open the gate. Quickly swim past the gate and grab the third small key. Now that we have 3 small keys, use Ferora's Wind to go back to the top of the main room. Set Ferora's Wind again, we'll still be coming back here. Jump down to the second floor on the center tower and make your way to the barred door with the torch next to it. Use Din's fire to light this torch and enter the tower. Raise the water level to the second level, then sink down here to defeat some enemies and grab the 4th small key. We now have every key that we need. You're expected to spend 2 keys in the central room, one on the first floor to enter the center tower, and another on the second floor west door to get up to the 3rd floor water switch. We don't want to do this, otherwise we can't progress any further without the bow, so instead, we do this. If you stand under these hookshot targets on the tower just right, you can reach them with the hookshot and jump slash onto the ledge to travel up without raising the water level. Do this to reach the top floor. On this ledge is the switch to raise the water to the top floor. Since we can't use a key to go through the path here, we can do this. With a well-aimed jump towards the center of this ledge, we can reach it and climb up it. With the water level raised up back to the top, we can now access the 3rd floor western rooms. Use the first key to get to the falling platforms room, the second key to get into the raising statues room, and enter Darklink's room. Here's an easy way to fight Darklink. While you hold target, you can actually control the direction Link slashes his sword. If you hold right and slash, Link will slash from left to right, instead of vertical. Face west and have Darklink behind you. Move back right, and slash. When you do this, you'll hit Darklink before he hits you. You can repeat this until he's defeated. Now grab the longshot and Ferora's Wind back to the entrance. If you go down to the river room, you can grab Gold Skulltula, but you'll be stuck here because you don't have an arrow to hit this ice switch to open the gate back out. Now it's time to get the boss key. Back at the entrance, set Ferora's Wind one last time. Make your way to the north basement. Remember that you can do the Iron Boots swimming trick to move around while you sink. Longshot up to the target behind you, and across the spikes to use your 3rd key. We need to get over here to our left where the boulders are coming from. You could go forward and complete the 2 rooms on the intended path, but here's a trick to save some time. Once you enter this room, side hop left twice, side roll, and target. Side hop right twice, side hop left once, side roll, and target. Side hop right twice. With this angle, run forward and roll off the ledge. Keep holding forward and you will grab the ledge. Now that you're up here, walk up this step and look at about this angle. Run forward, and when you hit the water, start swimming right. Jumping from this height will sink you enough underwater to clear the tunnel without needing to equip the iron boots. Swim through and use your final key to unlock the door and grab the boss key. Ferora's Wind back to the entrance. Make your way north and longshot across the gap. Climb up the slope and enter Morpha's room. Here's how to make this fight easier. Do a jump slash and store its damage. Get into one of the corners and wait for Morpha to come to you. Hookshot Morpha repeatedly until you put it into a corner. Now you can crouch stab it repeatedly. Since you did a jump slash earlier, your crouch stab now does jump slash damage thanks to power crouch stab. A mechanic where your crouch stabs have the properties of your last attack. Defeat Morpha, pick up the heart container, and take the blue warp to finish the water temple. Congratulations, not only have you beaten the water temple, but you even did it with a little sequence breaking. Neat. In Ocarina of Time, there's a couple places across the game where you can find some interesting textures. In Hyrule Field, the ledge to get out of the moat was lowered, and its texture is stretched as a result. Similarly, in Dodongo's Cavern, this ledge by the bomb bag chest is stretched out, and its texture is very distorted. This brick wall at the Death Mountain Trail Gate is textured on top. The tops and sides are stretched out. In Zora's River, this platform has its side texture stretched very tall. In the Water Temple, the top of the center tower is made of stairs. Here's the staircase texture, seen in Kakariko Village. Facing the Master Sword, the pedestal decoration is rotated counterclockwise from how the medallions are ordered in your inventory screen. Here's what Sheik's face looks like uncovered. In Dampé's grave, this column's texture is misaligned from the others. For ethical reasons, I cannot disclose where this texture is located, but know that it exists, and you can see it during regular gameplay. Neat. What is the largest rupee you can find in Ocarina of Time? Gold rupees are worth an incredible 200 rupees. These can be found in certain chests and are obtained infinitely through the 100 Gold Skulltula reward. There is a rarer rupee though, and it's one you might not have known exists. In the Lost Woods as an adult, the Skull Kids become aggressive toward Link and start attacking him. You can actually fight and defeat these Skull Kids. By doing this, you are rewarded with a giant orange rupee. When Link picks up this massive rupee, he is rewarded with 200 rupees. Surprisingly, this is still not the most valuable rupee you can find. In Zora's Domain as a child, at the top of the waterfall is the diving minigame. For 20 rupees, Link has to pick up every rupee thrown into the water within a time limit. The reward for doing this the first time is the silver scale. After obtaining it, Link can play a new version of the minigame where 10 random rupees are dropped. This minigame secretly holds the largest rupee in the game. Thanks to some rupee data compiled by Glitch Hunter Exodus, we know the percent chances of certain rupees being dropped. There is a little under a 5% chance that this minigame will drop at least one orange rupee. When it does and Link picks it up, you will earn 200 rupees, and an additional 300 rupees. The orange rupee from this minigame is worth a wallet-filling 500 rupees. With such low odds of seeing this rupee, this would make it the rarest and most valuable rupee in the entire game. Thank you to speedrunner Cymarth for sharing this information with me. Neat. In the fishing pond, there is a rare fish you occasionally have the chance of encountering. This is the Hylian Loach, a legendary fish across the Zelda series. To see the Loach, you must meet some requirements beforehand. The first time you pay for the fishing minigame, an internal counter will start ticking up. Once you've paid to go fishing 3 times, the next time you enter the fishing pond, the Hylian Loach will spawn. Now with the Loach in the pond, it's time to catch it. The Loach is hiding near the lily pads towards the back of the pond. Carefully approach the Loach, and you should be able to target towards it, if not directly at it. Cast your line and slowly reel towards the Loach. You're waiting for it to grab your lure, which it is very cautious of doing. If you startle the Loach by running near it or by catching another fish before it, it will get scared and swim to the bottom of the lake, where you cannot reach it. If another fish grabs your lure, don't press A to hook it. Simply let it get away and you can reel back your line and cast again for another chance. Eventually, the Loach will bite, and it's your chance to reel it in. Have patience, and you will get it. Congratulations, you've caught the Hylian Loach. You can keep it and turn it in for a prize of 50 rupees. However, it will be released to help with conservation of the local ecosystem. There is another method to catch it, but it is against the rules. If you talk to the fisherman, you can ask about changing your lure. You are told you can't do so, but there is a way to find one. After collecting the grand prize of a piece of heart as child, or the golden scale as an adult, you are now able to find a special lure somewhere in the pond. By walking over one of these 4 spots, Link will become surprised and discover the sinking lure. The sinking lure can help you catch fish deep in the pond, like the Loach if it had been startled. After grabbing the lure, you can ask the fisherman about it, or it turns out that he's willing to look the other way for using the lure. What a cool guy. Unfortunately, your hat is mine. Neat. Are you tired of walking backwards? Watch this. This is a super slide. Super slides are one of the fastest methods of travel in Ocarina of Time. When Link tries to grab an object while shielding damage, he gets put in this speedy sliding state. There are a couple of ways to initiate a super slide. Here is one. On a flat surface, shield drop a bomb, then side hop and shield drop another one. Do a backflip and roll forward. When the first bomb is about to explode, roll into the second bomb and press A to pick it up. Link will stay sliding in a straight line as long as you hold shield. You can also do a super slide with one bomb, but the timing is tighter. To initiate one, wait a moment to let Link put the bomb directly over his head before you shield drop it. There are a few frames where you can roll and grab the bomb as it's exploding. If you don't get a super slide, it's likely you're in a state where Link can't use items. You've accidentally stored a ground jump, where the next time Link backflips, he will hop up instead. Simply backflip to get out of the state and try again. If you have Nehru's Love, you can simply have your sword in hand, shield, and try to pick up the bomb. Usually, this gives you a ground jump, but with Nehru's Love, you get a super slide instead. An extension of super slides are called, well, extended super slides. There is a position on your analog stick just outside of neutral referred to as the ESS zone. If you hold in this range, Link can turn around without moving. This is used for small angle adjustments and for extended super sliding, as ESS preserves your current speed. While in a super slide, if you hold ESS left or right and release shield, Link will swing around while keeping the super slide. If you target again while holding ESS, Link will keep the slide going in a different direction. This is how you can travel fast along curved paths. You can do extended super slides without bombs by using recoil. Outside of Zora's River, you can do a setup to jump slash this wall and recoil into the water. By holding ESS position, you travel towards Kakariko Village quickly. This variant is called a water extended super slide, or WES. Releasing target and holding ESS can swing you into the stairs up to Kakariko. A benefit to ESS is that NPCs won't talk to you. which means you can skip the owl by sliding right past him. The Hyperextended Super Slide, or HES, has the benefits of the speed of a super slide and the maneuverability of an extended super slide. You can do one with water and a mega flip. By shielding damage and backflipping off of it, Link can do a backflip that travels faster and farther. This is a mega flip. By mega flipping into water, then transitioning into ESS position, you can do a HES. Look at Link go now. Neat. We are taking the ocarina out of Ocarina of Time. When Link catches something in a bottle, he keeps it held out in his hand. While Link holds a filled bottle like this, you can do something really cool. With the bottle still out, do a backflip, and while in the air, press the bottle button immediately followed by another item like your sword. Link will begin playing that item as an ocarina. This is Ocarina Items, and it lets you play ocarina songs without actually having an ocarina. You can do ocarina items with most items you can take out in the air. You can also activate it by holding ESS, arrange just enough out of neutral on the control stick so Link shuffles his feet, and quickly pressing the bottle, followed by an item. Be careful though, as certain items will instead get duped over, like Deku Nuts, or explosives if there are already 3 of them out. Would you like to make Link drink bugs and fish milk? Catch bugs or a fish in a bottle, then do ocarina items with an empty bottle. This will cause Link to play the drinking animation. On versions 1.1 and 1.2, doing this will actually heal Link for 5 hearts, the equivalent to Lon Lon milk. Ocarina items can also delay switches. In Dodongo's Cavern, there's this switch you need to move a block on top of to keep the boss door open. If you do ocarina items onto the switch, it delays its activation, and Link has just enough time to run to the door and open it, skipping that puzzle. The best use of ocarina items though is with a Deku Stick. Stand next to a torch and activate ocarina items with the Deku Stick, making sure that the stick gets lit on fire. Now, wait. Very impressive. This is the goal of the Dank% speedrun. Neat. If you have the Megaton Hammer and Hover Boots, you can do something cool. When Link crouch stabs a wall, he recoils backwards. During these few frames of recoil, if you equip the Hover Boots, Link will slide much farther away from the wall. When hitting a wall with the Megaton Hammer, the recoil is even more intense. When you equip the Hover Boots now, Link goes flying in the other direction. This is a Hammer Hover Slide. Here's some fun uses for these recoil hovers in the Water Temple. In the north basement, you need the long shot to hook across the gap and spikes, right? Well, with a recoil boost from the back wall, you can actually cross the gap and jump slash onto the spikes. On the top floor, you need the long shot to cross the gap to get to Morpha's room. Luckily, using a hammer boosted recoil, you can easily cross the gap and grab the ledge up here. This last one is not a bore. Once more, on the top floor is a door before you scored the long shot. You need to set the water level to the top floor to raise the platform, but by using a hammer hover boots recoil, you can slide across the gap and technically be standing in front of the door, so you're able to open it with a key. No need to raise the water level back up. Whatever you do not go back out the door. Neat! In Ocarina of Time, to get to the Shadow Temple, you're required to complete the Forest, Fire, and Water Temples so you can activate the cutscene to learn the Nocturne of Shadow to warp to the temple's entrance. However, there are ways to get into the Shadow Temple early. For this method, all you need is the hookshot. Grab the hookshot from Dampé's grave. You can side hop out before the room closes to void out and get back to the graveyard entrance faster. Now that you have the hookshot, it's time to get into the Shadow Temple. Line up on this back wall of Dampé's hut, get into this corner and hold target, then side hop right, side roll, and hold forward to bonk. When you do, mash the hookshot button. Link will begin pulling out the hookshot and putting it away. The third time he does this, on this frame here, when his hat lines up with his shield, press hookshot. Link will shoot the hookshot and fly up into the air. Once he starts falling, hold back to land onto the ledge. To make walking on the ledge easier, we're going to get Infinite Sword Glitch, ISG, off the Poe to keep us from falling off. Stand above and face the Poe. In quick succession, crouch stab, target the Poe, and press C up to interrupt the stab. If you timed it right, Link's sword will still be swinging, and you will have ISG active. Now you can safely walk along the ledge towards the warp pedestal. Be careful at the corners though, as you could slip down them and get stuck. If you do, you can try to side hop or backflip onto a different spot to save yourself. Once you get to the end of the graveyard, you can enter Shadow Temple by one of two ways. If you have Din's Fire, you can open Shadow Temple as intended. If you don't want to do that, you can get to the center of this ledge here, and side hop past the stairs, jumping over a load trigger, letting you access the Shadow Temple without opening its door. Now that you're here, you can beat Shadow Temple without having any items like the Lens of Truth, bow, hammer, or longshot. Progressing through the temple doesn't change much when you enter it early. Here's some ways to solve the rooms with your limited inventory. Getting to the hover boots without the Lens of Truth is simple enough, as the only other branching path leads to the dungeon map. When fighting Dead Hand, you can time a jump slash right before it dives to score another hit. To solve the Truth Spinner without the lens, the correct placement can only be one of these back three. Pull the spinner counterclockwise twice and check if it's correct. If it's not, you can avoid falling into the pit below by side hopping out of the way or using the hover boots to walk over it. If you blow up the Bimo statue, you'll see that Navi turns green and flies to the center of this room. If you play the Song of Storms, you can spawn a big fairy. Big fairies are special in that they restore all of your magic and 8 of your hearts. Cool. Since we already used glitches to get into Shadow Temple, would you like to do an easy clip to skip most of it? In the Silver Rupee room, at the bottom of it is a shortcut blocked off by a giant block which you pull away from the other side. You can clip through the bars with this setup. Line up in this corner, side hop left 3 times, do 2 targeted slashes stopped by shielding, do 1 more vertical slash without shielding, do a jump slash, and hold shield to stay in place. 1 last jump slash will put you past the bars. Congratulations, you can move the block into its resting spot to keep the shortcut open. After grabbing that key from the Silver Rupee room, use it on the door hidden behind an invisible bombable wall to the basement 2 hallway. You can do a few rolls, turn right, and toss a Deku Nut onto the wall to stun the 3 Skulltulas on your path. In this giant cavern room is a fork in front of you. The left side leads to a gold Skulltula, and the right side progresses on. Here are the invisible platforms on the left side. The room has an invisible spinning scythe in its center, its area marked on the floor. You can take out the keys with your hookshot. In this spot here with the Salphos, you'll notice that Navi turns green again. This is another spot you can spawn a big fairy. Here, play the Song of Storms, and you can spawn the big fairy. The stone umbrella room is solved by pulling this block out from behind the invisible wall and using it to shield you from the falling spikes. There's other ways to get past this puzzle though. One option is to pull the block out only a little, then use a ground jump to climb up the block. Drop a bomb, then have your sword in hand, and try to pick up the bomb while shielding. After it explodes, when Link does a backflip, he will hop upward, letting him grab the ledge. Another method involves this moving spike here. You can backflip onto the spike at the right moment, and either clip through or get pushed onto the falling spike. If you want to show off to your friends, you can backflip directly under the spike as it's falling and clip through it to end up on top. Hit the switch and grab the key in the small chest. The next locked door is over there across the gap. There are invisible platforms here, 1 stationary and 1 moving. Here's what they look like. There's a couple ways to get through here. One way is to simply run at an angle towards the door and hope that you timed it right. Another method is to use the hover boots on the same path and float across the platforms. If you want to play it carefully, you can do targeted rolls to find the ledge, as Link will automatically grab the ledge when he finds it. Then, use the hookshot's crosshair to see when the moving platform is close. You can observe the timing of its movement and use it to judge when to jump across. Now, unlock that door. This Silver Rupee room has invisible spikes on the floor, in green, and hookshot targets on the walls, in blue. Aim here to climb on top of the invisible platform and either jump slash or use hover boots towards this 1 rupee to collect it. After collecting the rupees, the door on the left will open. Before entering it, if you have Aurora's Wind, you can set it here to save some time coming up. This room has a skull that you need to toss an explosive into to get to the key that's inside. There's bomb flowers to use up top, or you could throw your own bombs instead. With good timing, you can even use a bomb chew directly on the vase and have it blow up as it touches its base, counting for the puzzle. To open the door out, defeat every enemy. Since we set Aurora's Wind in the last room, we can use it to get out. The way forward is up on that high ledge with the locked door. The hookshot target to get up there is intended to be reached with a long shot, but since we haven't been to the water temple, our hookshot won't reach it. Thankfully, backflipping onto this small chest gives us the height that we need to reach the target with the hookshot. The next room has wind fans that will push you away. There's optimized movement to get through here in 1 cycle, but I did not practice it, so I will have Link run in place as he faces hurricane force winds. In the room beyond the narrow path with fans is a hint telling you to use the hover boots in the last room to progress, but you don't really need to. While we're here, we can play the Sun Song to spawn a big fairy. Back in the previous room, where this fan is, do a rolling jump off the ledge and hold forward until you hit the wall. Link just barely grabs the ledge, but he can make this jump without the hover boots. This next room has an invisible key chest hidden under the rubble in this corner. Use a bomb to blow it up, then get into the corner to open the chest. Open the locked door. Hey, we're back here again. We have taken the scenic route. You can push the block into place to climb the ladder, or you can jump from the ledge onto the boat's wheel and climb up it. Play Zelda's Lullaby to start the ride. If you don't feel like fighting Stalfos, you can stand up on the back ledge, unable to be reached. The Stalfos will eventually fall off the boat this way. Jump off before the boat sinks. Across the void is the statue with bomb flowers you hit with an arrow to blow up and make a bridge. Since we don't have the bow from the forest temple and our other fire sources don't reach, we'll get creative with bomb shoes. Face the wall and slash it. Charge a spin attack and release it, shielding right after to lock the angle. This angle measurement is 2 ESS right. ESS is a small range on your analog stick just out of neutral where Link can turn around without moving. The smallest of these turns we can make is 1 ESS. Side hop right close to the ledge, then drop a bomb shoot to have it right along the wall. If aimed correctly, it hits the bomb flowers across the gap and blows them up, making the bridge. This room is a maze of invisible walls. Hug the right wall and you can get around easily. This room has a small key. Jump slash the invisible floor master to defeat it, and do a quick spin to defeat the 3 tiny ones it spawns. This room just has rupees and a gold skulltula and can mostly be ignored. This room has the boss key. To break the closing spike walls, you need to use Din's fire. However, you can also do this. Run towards the Reed to get its attention, and keep jump slashing. If it freezes Link while he's in the air, Link will stay in place as the wall moves through him. When he unfreezes, he's on the other side of the wall. Hurry up and grab that boss key, because if the spike walls meet in the middle, Link gets voided out and you'll have to do it again. This room has invisible platforms to cross with the hover boots. Here's the layout of it. You can run forwards, aim left, then back right to cross it. Now to go fight Bongo Bongo. Bongo Bongo does not require the boat to defeat it. You can use your hookshot to shoot its hands and eye as it rushes at you. In fact, you don't even need anything other than your sword for this fight. You can do quick spins to hit the hands right before they attack you, then do a well-timed sword swing to hit Bongo Bongo's eye. Use the power of a 150 beat per minute rhythm to one-cycle it with crouch steps. Collect your heart piece and enter the blue warp to complete the dungeon. Congratulations! You have completed the Shadow Temple before entering any of the other ones. We can check our inventory and see that we only have the Shadow Medallion collected here. Now go enjoy the hover boots in the previous dungeons. Neat! You can climb that? In Death Mountain Trail, you can climb the wall that this gold skulltula sits on. Here are some interesting things you can climb in Ocarina of Time. In Dodongo's Cavern, you can climb on this vine to reach the gold skulltula token. In Kakariko Village as an adult, you can jump up from here to reach the top of the roof and get to the potion shop a little quicker. If you stand here in the Kuko pen, you can jump up to the entrance and grab the cow's heart piece. In the windmill, this heart piece can be grabbed after completing Dampé's race, but if you miss the jump, you can stand on this stone here and jump to the center platform to climb back up. In Hyrule Field, the chains on the drawbridge outside the market can be walked up on, and you can grab the hidden 60 rupees by jumping off the chains. At Hyrule Castle, if you don't want to sneak past the guards outside, you can do some very careful walking up this seam and run past them. In Gerudo Valley, the entrance to Gerudo's fortress is gated off as a child. However, there is a way to get in early. Using this Kuko, you can stand on this part of the bridge, then do a precise running jump towards the gate and jump slash onto it to climb it. Congratulations! You've entered Gerudo's fortress early. From here, you can even travel all the way to the Spirit Temple and learn the Requiem of Spirit early. Neat! Here are some cool speedrun tricks and skips you can do in the Fire Temple. You can jump up this ledge without moving the Song of Time block. There's a ledge here Link can hop off of, which gives him the height needed to reach the ledge and climb up it. You can skip pushing this block in this room a few different ways. Line up right along the ledge, then use C up to turn slightly right. Do a rolling leap off the ledge, then hold left to reach the top of the block. Easy. You can do a similar jump with the bomb push. Line up about here, then side hop into the wall. Face back, then run into the bomb. Link will get pushed by it and jump off the ledge with enough height to reach the top of the block. You can clip behind the Goron jail with an explosive. Face the camera towards this wall, then jump to the ledge with the block on it. Climb up, and when the camera turns, press up to face Link forward. Lock this angle with the target, then sidewalk into the corner. Pull out a bomb. When the bomb explodes, Link will clip through the wall. Hold left to land back and bounce. You can also do this clip with a bomb shoe. Get ISG off the torch slug. Line up in the corner, and turn 2 ESS left. Pull out a bomb shoe and drop it in front of you. It will explode, and you can clip the same as with a bomb. In the fire maze room, with the right angle, if you roll along the wall, you can roll through the firewall before it goes up, and skip needing to go through the other side of the room to get back here. To get to the boss door, you need to drop the pillar into place from the room above so you can make the jump to the platform on the other side. However, here's an interesting jump you can do. Get into this corner, and turn towards the boss door ledge. Be sure to keep touching the wall on your left. Now run and jump at the ledge. Link will make this jump. This is a remote wall interaction. Touching the wall makes Link interact with the ledge sooner than he should, and it lets him grab it when he shouldn't be able to. Wanna skip the boss door entirely? In this fire maze room, there's this little cubby Link can ledge clip through. Get near the ledge and do a roll so Link falls off it and grabs it. On a certain frame, if you press target, Link will grab the ledge from inside the wall. He will be clipped out of bounds. Drop down. Once you're falling, do a jump slash and hold forward. You'll land onto the loading zone for the boss room. No need to get the boss key. Neat. In Dodongo's cavern, you will find Dodongos. If you put a bomb in front of a baby Dodongo, it will eat it. The bomb will explode and defeat the Dodongo, playing this special animation. There is something else the Dodongo will eat, and the reason is interesting. When defeated, Dodongos will explode. On the frame that a Dodongo explodes, it itself is able to be eaten by another Dodongo. Ocarina of Time scientist Fig explains why this happens. For a technical explanation, baby Dodongos and many other things in the game spawn explosives by spawning a regular bomb actor with a timer value of 0. The baby Dodongo does in fact check that the bomb is an unexploded bomb, but the explosion will be unexploded for frame 0 of its lifetime. Here are some more interesting enemy interactions in Ocarina of Time. Do Reed Deads feel? If you defeat a Reed Dead next to another Reed Dead, the second one will walk over to a defeated one and stare at it. Is it grieving? What could it be doing? Fighting like-likes can be annoying. Want to close the distance to one? Like-likes also act like hookshot targets. Luckily, this also stuns it, so you can follow up immediately after with an attack. If you have ice arrows, there's a fun interaction with Bongo Bongo. When you shoot ice arrows at Bongo Bongo's hands, they stay frozen in there, while we're out here. However, Bongo Bongo then takes its other hand and tries to break it free from the ice. It's a nice reward for completing the Gerudo training grounds before the Shadow Temple. This is a classic. When fighting Phantom Ganon or Ganondorf, you play a bit of tennis. While you could reflect the energy ball back with your sword, you can also do it with a regular bottle. Look at Link go. The Wolfos enemies have a special weak point. After they swing at Link, they briefly leave their back exposed. If you hit this hitbox here, you'll instantly defeat them. Certain masks have extra functionality. Are you tired of the fire keys in Dodongo's cavern burning your shield? If you have the skull mask, all Keese enemies will ignore you. When Link puts on the mask, any Keese that were diving at him immediately lose aggro. Give peaceful rest to the living dead. This is part of a poem found in the royal family's tomb. If you play the Sun Song near undead enemies like Reed Deads or Gibdos, it will stun them all. A rare variant of the bubble enemy is the white bubble, appearing only in one room in the Spirit Temple. They spin around and fly in a random direction. They're easy enough to take down, but there is one attack that you should never ever do. If you use Din's Fire on a white bubble, this happens. This is a guaranteed method of crashing your game. Neat. There's a common piece of advice given by players when fighting these moblins in the Sacred Forest Meadow. While they usually block attacks and charge you on sight, they have a secret weakness. If you shoot the hookshot in this area here, the moblins are defeated. Is this another hookshot nipple collision situation, or is something else going on? Here is the hitbox for the moblin. There is a solid wall of collision in front of it, and a hitbox in its lower half behind it. Your hookshot can't shoot through the wall collision, but look at what happens when we aim low. It's not that the moblins are weak in their groin, but the hookshot is actually shooting through their defense collision and damaging their hitbox. Here are some more interesting enemy interactions. In the Volvagia boss fight, Volvagia has two hitboxes. One stays on Volvagia's head when it pops out of the lava holes, and the other follows its body as it flies around. When Volvagia flies into the lava hole, that hitbox from the flying model doesn't go away. If you drop an explosive into the last hole that Volvagia flew into, you damage Volvagia. Volvagia's flying hitbox stays under the arena, and an explosion extends out enough to hit it. You can get extra hits this way while waiting for an opening on its head. In the basement of the Deku Tree, there are these 3 Deku Scrubs that you must reflect their attacks back at in a certain order. Afterward, you talk to the Deku Scrub who tells you Goma's weakness. But what do the other 2 Scrubs say? You can force any Deku Scrub out of hiding by using the Megaton Hammer. Use the Megaton Hammer to force the other 2 out of their stunned state. This is what the other Deku Scrubs tell you. You finally woke up. I'm Navi the Fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. It turns out, these Deku Scrubs were Navi all along. Neat.